Hey everyone, and welcome back to our channel. I'm here for my own individual update. If you are just joining us on this channel, Chloe and I film regularly together. One week we will do an individual update, then the next week is normally a video where we do something together, and then the week after that we normally do the other person does an update. So welcome if anyone is new, and thank you to everyone who's coming back. We have seen quite a few numbers going on the last couple of videos. So today I'm going to do my own individual update for my stitching in January and a little bit of stitching in February. My last video was in January, so you'll see some things that happened before school went back, but we've been back for 5 weeks now and it's been very busy. This week has been my week of all marking, so I've had 4 tests to mark, including one of those being a year 12 test, so that's been a little bit stressful, and then we have another 6 weeks to go, so I don't see the next 6 weeks getting many stitching done just because of the way my work is at the moment. So this is the Snitch by DMxStitch on Etsy. I have 2 of her other designs in my works in progress pile, and I started this on the 25th of January and I finished it on the 29th of January. However, there was a day or so of no stitching in between, so it actually took me 3 stitching sessions to work on this. Now I'm going to bring it in close because I want to give you a photo of what it looked like without any stitching, the back stitching, because that's just really brought it to life. So this is stitched on a random 14 count opalescent Ada from Colour Cascade. I actually think it might be the old golddigger old map style, but it was an oddment that I had and it just worked perfectly. I would though suggest if you were wanting to do this one to actually do it on Evenweave, because there are a lot of fractional stitches, especially when you're coming to piecing the Ada for some of that back stitching, but it looks amazing. So in total, when I did this, there is about 600 stitches, including half stitches on this, and the rest is back stitch, and there are 69 French knots, and I did the French knots. You surprised? And I don't think that should look too bad. So we can see the French knots are all like around here, and we have the saying, it says I open up to close. My trick with the French knots is rather than just wrapping the thread around twice, I actually wrapped it around 3 times, and it made it a little bit larger, but I still think it pops. And this needle minder is a clay needle minder that I have from a shop in Australia who has closed down in the last year and a half. So it's not available anymore, unfortunately. But super cute. I do have a lot of fabric left over for this one. So if I was to put out the fabric, we can see it like that. And my back kit goes everywhere at the moment. Mainly because I had a lot of back stitching, a lot of French knots. And I'm just going to do this as a very small finish. I'm not going to worry about trying to frame it or anything like that. So at the moment it's not fully finished, which is what we call an FFO, but it is a finish and hopefully I'll be able to do something with that soon. So what we're going to do now is we are moving into my works in progress, otherwise known as my whips. And in here you'll see a lot of project bags. So my first project bag is this one here, and it may give you a hint about what is in here. So on the front I have a Norbert zipper pull from the Black Needle Society from Frogwatch. And I actually have 2 projects in here, but I've only worked on 1. So the one that I've worked on is also by the same designer as DMxStitch, and it's my Slytherin. This is the Slytherin house crest. Again, available on Etsy by DMxStitch. I absolutely love this pattern, and Chloe and I are stitching on these together. Except she's a little bit further ahead than I am. So you did see this project in my most recent update in January. However, since then, I've also been able to add in an extra 1,300 stitches and lots of back stitch, and I love it. So I'll put in a picture of what it looked beforehand, and this is what it looks like now. Isn't that stunning? So this is on 32 count Evenweave Springtime from Sewitall, Australia. It's one of their printed Evenweaves because we know because it's white on the back. And isn't that stunning? So I've been able to work up to the top to get in that top border. So the last time you should have seen, I was only about here, didn't have any of this at all. So I've been working up and filling on the side. I'm loving the way this batch stitching is happening. It works in either 1, 2 or 3 strands of batch stitch. And the way that I actually do it is I just keep one long strand of the colour and I go over the stitch how many times to create the effect. I filled in the star up there. Haven't done the back stitching because there's a couple more half stitches I need to do. And so when I come back to this next time, I'm going to go across here and finish off the frame on the side. And then that means I can count down to work on his face and then I can work down. It is interesting to see how people approach this differently. I've approached by going on the side because I've been using Pattern Keeper and I'm not actually done by pages. However, when Chloe's been stitching on it, she's done a lot of this bottom page, and then she's now started coming up the top, and then Athena's kind of gone from the top and hasn't done much of the bottom. So depending on the way people stitch, it's quite interesting to see how the project comes along. If you are wanting to do anything with this designer, one thing you need to get used to is there are a lot of blends. So I show this every time. This is how I sort my blends. I just had them on, they're originally gift tags that I just hole punched. And these are all the blends that I am dealing with this project. There's plenty of them, but it just brings in that depth of colour, and the colour changes between the greens to the yellows in that border is just sublime. So I'm not sure when I will pick that up again. It should be soon. I do find that quite an easy stitch on the brain other than dealing with the blends, because a lot of the time it's just full crosses and then there are some half crosses, but I do find that a lot easier to do, so that might come out when I'm getting tired at night or something like that. The next project that I pulled out lives in this amazing bag. This is my Beauty and the Beast bag with stained glass windows. And on the front it has this amazing purple, and you can see which one it is. So this is my Nora Corbett and it is Snapdragon, and look at those purples. If you know me, you know this is a given. Isn't that stunning? So I love this piece. It's such an easy piece to stitch on. I'm enjoying it. I've been able to do a lot of fill-in. I have had some trouble with some threads, so I've had some interesting dye lot issues, which I've learnt now to always make sure you have extra skeins. But it's just such a joy to stitch. This is where I'm up to so far on my Snapdragon. My fabric is 28 count sparkling diamonds from the Crafty Kitten. It is a very soft pale purple, we can see there compared to the board at the back. And isn't that stunning? So this is, Nora Corbett's normally smaller than her mirrors. And you can tell that already because this is on a 13 by 18 piece of Evenweave. So since the last time I put a photo in what I did beforehand, but I've brought all of this purple, like this purple section down, the lighter purple, and I've started filling in these now the deeper purples and pinks. I do have some part threads going here because I'm working in one of these sections, so I'm going to have lots of purples and pinks going in an order again. But I'm so close to finishing the bottom part of her dress. The half my mark is about from here downwards, and I really want to get this whole project done this year. So I do have some ideas of how I want to do some adaptions, but I need to do some more thinking, and I can keep working on the dress until that is done. So I managed to get just over 1,000 stitches in on my Snapdragon before something came out and my attention was switched to that. I had to start it. I couldn't stop. I needed to start this. So because I put down Snapdragon, I actually had a new start. I know, I had a new start. This has been my year of starts. However, this one is finished for now. So I started the Stitching Bookclub sale for Narnia, the Chronicles of Narnia, and I am so happy with what I'm doing. I am loving it. It's so vibrant. I love the colours. It's just me. So this is stitched on oddment from Crafty Kitten. It's again on 28 count, and the colours are just matching perfectly. It's not on the white, but there's just a little bit of a hint of colour behind there. So I started this on the 13th of February, and I finished part 1 on the 20th of February. Part 2 actually comes out in a couple of days, so I can't wait to start doing this again. But isn't this gorgeous? So it's again on a 13 by 18 piece of Evenweave. This one I think is a Lugana. It's by Crafty Kitten. This is an oddment, so I don't know the name. But you can see there's these yellow patches, and this is all like a very pale grey purple. Come in close. Isn't that just stunning? I love the banding and I love the colours between the blues and the purples. So I'm stitching this 2 of 2 with our back stitching, with depending on the threads that's been asked by the pattern. And it is just amazing. I'm actually thinking I'm going to stitch in the second part, but then I actually might go back over the words here, the Chronicle, the Lion, the Witch and the Wardrobe, with maybe another strand, because at the moment you can't really see and it's not popping as much as I'd like. I'm loving this band. Like, look at those colours, how it goes between the purples and the blue. So unfortunately, if you were trying to get this pattern, it is now sold out. It was only a limited edition. There was only, I think, 1,200 patterns available due to copyright, and they've all been sold out. But this, I'm so happy I jumped on this, and I can't wait to see the next pattern, to see what happens in the second band. Fun fact, in that first part, without counting up the back stitching, there is 1,312 stitches. Thank God to Pattern Keeper for keeping track of how many stitches they have. Alright, one last project that I've been working on. I pulled this out over the weekend, put it on my Q-snap, so it's still on my Q-snap. I'm not going to take it off because it's in the perfect position. And it normally lives in this bag. Alright, so this project I pulled out on the weekend, put it on the Q-snap, so it's perfect. I don't want to move it anywhere. I'm going to keep it on the Q-snap. I had hoped that I could have tried to get some stitches in over the course of this week, but then I said this week's been a marking heavy week, so hopefully tomorrow night I'll be able to get heaps of work done and then coming into the weekend. But I love these types of projects. So this one is a Stitch in Time designed by Aimee Stewart, but then charted by Heaven and Earth Designs, and it's one of those large patterns. So I'll put in a cover photo, and I'll also put in a photo of where I was at to before. So normally when I've been stitching my Heaven and Earth Designs, I've been, especially with this one, I've been going down in diagonals. However, the page that I am on, I have this row of like a beigey border at the top with green leaves. And then I also have a lot of leaves scattered throughout the page. So I've decided I've gone a little bit skew-iffed than what I normally would do. I've actually stitched most of the top border first, and then I've actually been doing colour completing within the leaves. And then from there, I'll go back into diagonals later on. Now, if you don't like part threads, warning, I have a lot of part threads, especially since the one I'm doing is the max colour version. So I have a lot of colours. And this is where I'm up to so far. So I've been working on page 3 is what is actually on the pattern, and it will also be my 4th page that I'm working on at the moment. So as you can see, I've been working on this border here. So I've been working down, and then you can see a lot of those confetti stitches scattered around. All of those are going to be leaves. I have a pile of part threads over here and over here and over here, ready to be used. This one is done on 25 count Lugana, and it's just a plain white Lugana. This is before I learnt about the pre-gridded fabrics. So as you can tell, I'm just using a blue marker and gridding as I go. I do prefer to use the pre-gridded fabric, so I'll use that for later on, but this one's too far through, so I'm just going to continue with it. I'm just loving the vibrancy that's coming up, and you can tell that from it being the matte colour. So while I have over 200 colours to work with compared to 90, the vibrancy that comes out from it is worth it. Let's just move these down. So we can see there we have these books done completely in the other page. There's another book starting, about 2 or 3 books here, and then we start a window silhouette on this side, and then down here is a fan. So I cannot wait to continue on this. I think in the last couple of days, I think I did 400 on one day, and I think I did 300 or 400 the next day as well. But as I said, I've just kind of gone a little bit skew with what my normal plans are, but I've just been following the way the pattern has been going. This will be staying on the Q-snap for a bit, so I'm definitely going to try and keep on it maybe during the weekends. I'm not going to work on it consistently. I may bring some other things as well, just to try and get my stitchy bug back, especially during school. So my plans is mainly going to be try and stitch, especially during the week, because I've been finding I'm mainly stitching on the weekends. I'm definitely going to continue working on a stitching time from Heaven Earth Designs, and I'm going to get the second part of the Narnia done once I have my pattern. Cannot wait. And I'll get that completed, and then who knows, I'll pull something else out, or I might start something new. I really haven't got many plans for the year overall. I was going to do a whip go, and then I couldn't be bothered, and then now I don't know, I could still do it. But I'm just enjoying stitching what I want to stitch when I want to stitch. The next thing I want to show you some amazing project bags that are from Aimee, who's our friend here in Adelaide. Her shop is Frog and Tink on Etsy, and she does the most amazing project bags. I went shopping last year and found some fun fabrics at Spotlight. So one of those fabrics was actually a Doctor Who fabric, which Aimee lovely made into a bag for my niece, and it was given to her as a belated Christmas present, along with a needle minder, a TARDIS needle minder, a TARDIS zipper pull, and a TARDIS the sonic screwdriver scissor fob, and she just loves them. But in that same trip, I also bought some other fabrics. One that's enough just for myself, and then another was enough for all three of us, including Chloe. So this is the first one. And if you know me, I love butterflies. So this is the bag. It's stunning. We've got the final front, and then in the front she's also done quilted the back of it here. And then on the back, just look at those foil butterflies. Simply stunning. I'm going to make my own thread keepers. I have some beads. I just need to find some really pretty charms. But Aimee also has made these larger thread keeps. So we have the snap, and then she's put some, not felt, but it's like a batting in there, and a little pocket so we can put like needle threaders in there. These are so useful. I've been using them quite often. In all honesty, Narnia is probably going to go into this bag because I just love it. Then as a bag for all three of us, there's enough fabric in here, and we are going to do a peacock sale because look at that fabric for the peacocks. Isn't it stunning? Again, we have a final front, and Aimee's quilted the back of this one. It is just amazing. Here we also have a thread keeper, and the pattern is always different places for all three of us. Isn't that stunning? So we have decided that we need to find a peacock pattern. It may not be the same one, we may all do different ones, but we'll probably start it together and work on it together and do that. We've also been organising Crafty updates so that we have a chance to catch up at least once a month. And that's been so much fun. But that's all I have for you today because school has been busy and it's just been very tiring at the end of the day, so I haven't had a chance to stitch during the week. But hopefully I'll get some more stitching coming into next month and you'll be able to see a lot more projects. Haven't really been buying anything because postage to Australia at the moment is not the best. So I've just been doing lots of wish lists and keeping everything together. Hope that everyone is staying safe, especially in our uncertain times at the moment. I know that in my school we do have COVID unfortunately going around the schools. We have some students out for 10 days. We have people out for close contacts. We have teachers who are classroom contacts, which means they have to do RAT tests in the morning to then make sure they're negative before they go to school. But we're just working through it with what's happening and just doing what we can. Hopefully our weather starts to cool off a bit more too, because it's been quite warm in the last couple of days, and I can't wait for autumn. It's autumn now, but I want it to be autumn like actually cold. Like give me some cold weather. I know everyone else over in the US and Europe are wanting some warmer weather. We're wanting the opposite. Give us some cool weather. But I hope that everyone is having a lovely week or a lovely month whenever you come and watch this. And I hope that you check in with Chloe and I Stitch with Us video next week, and then catch up with Chloe in the next couple of weeks as well. But until next time everyone, stay safe, happy crafting, and stitch something beautiful. Bye.